Alzheimer and the law. I'm Michael Davis. I'm a Spanish lawyer. I've been handling wills and probate and inheritance for mostly for expats all over Spain since 1996. We've seen a lot of difficult cases over the years with people that have become incapacitated because they have Alzheimer or other kinds of dementia, and we've had to go to court to incapacitate them to get an authorization, for example, to sell their property in Spain, or for the widow or widower to access bank accounts. Things can get very complex. That procedure in Spain is much more complicated than it is in the UK. In the UK, you go to the family courts and you get a power of attorney or once somebody's lost capacity, and it's much simpler than it is in Spain. So because of this, in Spain, we have to preempt the problem. So what I always say is, if somebody's been diagnosed with Alzheimer or a similar disease, I think it's a good idea to have a family meeting. It's obviously a delicate subject, difficult to sort of to accept that one has got Alzheimer. But if we look at it as an illness that may take a long time to evolve, and working on that basis, what I think we could do is just, in case it gets worse, and maybe a long time, hopefully it will, there's certain things that you should do. You should go and visit a lawyer, because there are things that can be done that can make it easier for the other partner if things get worse. And hopefully they don't, but if they do get worse, it's good to have things ready. So there are two main things that we think that need to be looked at if somebody is diagnosed with Alzheimer while they still have consent. And this will empower them, because it will allow them to make decisions as in opposed to those decisions being made for them later on in a way that may not be the correct way. Okay, so the first thing that we always say is, well, you're sealed up consent, but you've got the illness, let's get some powers of attorney done now, because that's really easy and very quick. So maybe you want to do power of attorney in favor of your spouse, or in favor of your spouse and a child, and it can be done that the powers can be made so that they only become valid once you lose consent, or they can be valid from the moment the word go. There's trade-offs, and we'd have to discuss them, because one thing is practical, one's safer. It all depends on where you are in life with things and how the relationship with the rest of the family. But a discussion should definitely happen in relation to powers of attorney. We've seen over the years, over the last 25 years, believe me, we've seen many very stressful situations for families, mainly because somebody's got serious Alzheimer. They come to us, they desperately need now to sell the property in Spain so they can go back to the UK. You know, they've got 300,000 euro or 200,000 euro tied up in their Spanish property. They really need that. They want to get back to where the kids are, to have more family support, because, you know, maybe one of the spouses has got Alzheimer and now it's very advanced. Now, at that point, we can't sign a power of attorney in Spain. The only way to sell the property is an incapacitation procedure through the courts. Believe me, it takes a long, long time, and it makes the coordination, the selling of the property, which will be a long way in the future if we do it this way, but it makes it complex even then. So the power of attorney is priority number one. Priority number two is wills. Okay, so the way I see it, sometimes people have maybe not made a will for many, many years, or they've got one that's really old. It may be the last chance for the person that's been diagnosed with Alzheimer to take a careful look at their will to see if it still says what they want it to say. Okay, so let's have a good look at the will. And again, hopefully this will not be needed for a long time into the future, but it's a good measure to take at that place. Let's take a look at the will. We could look at if there's two partners, one's perfectly healthy, the other been diagnosed with Alzheimer. Let's have a look at both wills at the same time and just make sure they're updated. The second thing I like to say about the wills is a bit more delicate, and I know it is, and that is that the healthy spouse, let's call him or her that, and this is something that maybe we can't bring up with everyone in the conversation. The person with Alzheimer, it's all empowering because it gives them the chance to do whatever they want with their will. But the other spouse should start thinking about if what that healthy spouse has done is left everything to the spouse on her will, to the spouse that has now got Alzheimer or dementia. Maybe they want to consider not naming the spouse with Alzheimer as the beneficiary of the estate. Again, it's all delicate, but it may not be the right thing to do, even for the own good, the good of the person with Alzheimer. Why? Because let's say, for example, that we have Peter and Mary. Peter's been diagnosed with Alzheimer. He's okay at the moment, and we've got Mary. But Mary's will at the moment leaves everything to Peter, and the second step down to the kids that are in the UK. Now, we look at the wills at the moment. Peter's, more or less okay, and he may be okay for many years, but we don't know. But let's now go down. Everyone forgets about it after that meeting with the lawyer. 10 years down the road, Peter now has got very advanced Alzheimer. He's no longer got capacity to consent, and now Mary passes away, and Peter is the beneficiary of the estate. Now we've got a big problem, okay? Because this, for example, if the estate consists of a property jointly owned, the kids may need to sell the property for Peter's care. And now they can't, because Peter, the father, is the beneficiary of the estate, and he cannot sign the acceptance of the estate, and therefore we're trapped. We can't sell the villa or the flat, whatever it is that we've got. So, obviously the priority is on the health and the doctors and things, but if somebody gets diagnosed with Alzheimer, I'm telling you from the experience of many years and having seen many problems derived from not following this advice, go and see your lawyer and say that you want to talk about wills and powers of attorney, and he can give you all the different alternatives that you've got, and so that person with the Alzheimer can make the best decisions and take part as much as possible in determining how things are going to be dealt with years down the road. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, you hit the subscribe button. It will help other people find our videos. And in any case, I hope to see you on another one. Thank you for watching.